Good evening to one and all. A warm welcome to 50th International Workshop on Quantitative Research Sampling Methods, Golden Jubilee Year of NEHU, May 2022 to May 2023. International Workshop Series, a series of 100 programs every Friday 5 to 7 p.m. Research and publication for happiness and development. Jointly organized by Internal Quality Assurance Cell IQAC, Northeastern Hill University, NEHU, Shillong, and Indian Society for Training and Development, ISTD, Shillong Chapter, Meghalaya, in collaboration with the Department of Philosophy and IQAC, MORAN College, affiliated to Dibrugarh University, MORANHAT, ASSAM, and Department of Philosophy, Sri Venkateswara University, Tirupati, Andhra Pradesh. On this special event, a warm welcome to today's keynote speaker, collaborator, my guru, Professor P. Chinnaya sir, Professor Prabhasankar Shukla sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor, NEHU, Shillong, Professor Rajareddy sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sri Venkateswara University, Dr. Nagarajasri Madam, Dr. Vijay Bhaskar sir, Computer Center, SVU, Professor Mithali Kova ma'am, Principal, MORAN College, Dr. Rajendra Prasad Bhartakur sir, IQAC Coordinator, MORAN College, and Dr. Srotosini Gogoi Madam, Head, Department of Philosophy and Workshop Coordinator, MORAN College, Professor B.S. Mithun sir, Chairman, ISTD Shillong Chapter, and Professor A.S. Dikshit sir, Director, IQAC NEHU Shillong. A warm welcome to all the participants. Actually, some of the participants they texted we will join, so we waited anyhow. I think almost all the education institutions they started physically. They are running classes, so it is based on the convenient. They can join. Our Professor Chennai sir is always open the door for all 360 degrees. So here the sample or sampling technique or sampling methods in quantitative research. There is a probability and non-probability sampling, altogether 8 types of sampling methods. We are going to learn everything, not only in research, even in our personal life also. Every moment we are making this probability and selecting. Whenever you are visiting any shop to select your dress, whether this one or this one, the chances, the probability 50% or more than. So based on whether it is a probability or non-probability, sometimes the parents they say you just select it, but there is no choice, equal chance for kids or siblings. So in real life also, unknowingly we are doing not only regarding dress, even food items, even selecting the life partner, selecting the education institution, selecting the course, selecting the institution, or selecting the program, which program, same day, so many types of, so many programs are there maybe. So here the probability and non-probability sampling techniques we are using in our daily life also, knowingly or unknowingly. Those who know about the sampling techniques, they can maybe aware. Those who are not aware, simply a life experience, life-changing lessons based on philosophical. As usual, Professor Chennai are going to deliver a keynote address on philosophical aspects which are very essential in the present day society. I got extraordinary feedback from our participants. So we are really grateful to you. We'll almost we traveled half of the distance to reach our goal. So this is the 50th International Workshop under research and publication. Already in teaching and learning we completed. With this, a warm welcome to all the participants. We'll start our program as usual with Vande Mataram, and we are eagerly waiting to listen Professor Chennai's keynote address.
Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram, Sujalam Sukhalam, Malayaj Sheetalam, Sasya Shyamalam Mataram, Vande Mataram, Sumita Drumadala Shobhini Suhasini Sumad मधुरभाषिणी सुखदां वरदां मातरं वन्दे मातरम् वन्दे मातरम्।
Thank you. So I'm requesting Professor P. Chennai sir, my guru, keynote speaker, collaborator, to deliver keynote address. Over to you, sir.
Respectable coordinator, Dr. Amresh sir, with the organizer for the program, and all the participants of the program, the research and search are most important for any development relating with oneself or the society. The human society developed extraordinary manner with the methods of research and search. So we are knowing many things in the external world and internal world for integration of human knowledge and good way of living. So today I am going to share some research findings relating with the great world famous philosopher Heraclitus. Maybe more than 2000 years back in the world, they have created great impression on a human existence. So he said, a man's character is his fate. So he is telling, character is your guardian divinity. Your future, your present depend upon your character. So what do you mean by character here? Your behavior, your habits, your words, your actions, your values, your culture, total contents of your mind relating with the behavior. So here we have a good character and the bad character. So here a good character. So love, affection, kindness, tenderness, helping, right talking, doing right things, having right thoughts, having right values, having maintenance of balance in the life, always positive, take caring about his own limits and boundaries. Bad character, telling lies, deceiving people, dishonesty, corruption, harmfulness, destruction, doing all types of violent things. So he's here, Heraclitus is saying, your character is your destiny. If you have good thoughts, actions, words, values, behavior, and everything in your life, then you don't bother about anything. You may get a good result on the basis of your actions in the future. So here, the present life depends upon our past actions. The future life depends upon present actions. So if the present actions are good, our future may be a good. If present actions are bad, our future may be bad. So it depends upon our actions. So that's why he's telling more care about character. So the eyes are more exact witnesses in the human existence. So you have to use your eyes very carefully. See exactly what it is without any bias, with a silent mode, with a silent expression. Your hidden harmony is better than the obvious. So here, mental peace is the most important. Tranquility, coolness, free from conflict. So here, one has to follow the art of living. What do you mean by art of living here? Art of living is living with peace, living with love, living without any conflict, without any contradiction. When there is a contradiction, there is a conflict. Where there is a conflict, there is a violence. The highest state of violence is called war. So here we have to live harmoniously in our inner world. Then only we will live very happily. So here Heraclitus said, so if you feel envy, what do you mean by envy? Jealousy. What do you mean by jealousy? Unhappiness and others' happiness. If somebody gets something, the other people may feel unhappy. So envy means unhappiness and others' happiness. So here Heraclitus said, if you get envious feeling or a jealousy on others' happiness, your envy, your jealousy will go continuously than the happiness of others. But he is telling, jealousy is a psychological poison. Envious feeling creates harmfulness in our body and mind. It is not good for your health. That is a impurity. So be free from impurities. So he is telling, you cannot step into the same river twice. So in the world, if you go to any river, if you step, every moment you find the moment of new relating with the water. In the same manner, in the world also, everything is flux, everything is changeable. So you have to move with the change. Your change is the most important thing. That is a permanent in the life. So God is day and night, winter and summer, war and peace. So everywhere we find different types of things. So here Heraclitus saying, much learning does not teach understanding. If you have no clear vision, if you have no clear listening, you won't understand. If you see, if you listen without any bias, with a silent mode, you may get understanding and wisdom. That is the most important thing in the life. So men who wish to know about the world must learn about it in its particular details. So here in the world, nature, everything, many things are there. You have to learn moment to moment without having any stress, always cool, learn all aspects of nature and the world, then only you will get an integrated understanding about the human existence. So then only you will live. So he is telling the sun is new every day. So here the sun is new every day means every day sun rays are very fresh. Every day sunlighting is very fresh. It is coming ever new, ever fresh every day. At the same manner, don't bother about your future. Don't bother about your past. Your past is a dead. Your future is uncertain. The present is a fresh. So just like sun rays coming from sun every day with a fresh manner, you have to live here in this world with a fresh manner. If you continue in the present with the thinking more future, more past, that may be a pollution, that may be a problem for you. Don't bother about that. Concentrate on the immediate present. In the immediate present, you won't find any anxiety or a depression. If you enter in the past, you may get depression, loss, something, disappointment, everything. So if you go with the future, you may get anxiety, the failure, success, uncertainty, many things. The future is uncertain. That's why here, live at present. Don't concentrate more on past or the future. concentrate on the present moment, then only you will get more happiness. That is the most important thing in the life. If you want to achieve great things, you need great plans and great ideas and great motivations, great willpower. If you have a great ideas, great plans, great willpowers, then only you will achieve many things. So here is telling the content of your character, your choice, day by day, what you choose, what you think, and what you do, who you become. So the contents of character decide your fate. Your character will come. Your character arises, your choice, your selection, your everyday moments, your efforts, constant understanding about your life. So here Herculetus said, if you have a good thoughts, good ideas, your life will become very colorful. If you have a bad thoughts, bad actions, bad impressions, then your life will be different. So all thoughts will color the content of the essence of your soul. So if you have a great and pure, nice thoughts, then your life and your soul will get more glory. That is the most important thing in the life. So here in the life, human beings are doing two things. They are in the state of two aspects. One is a awakening state, another is a sleeping state. So actually we have a four stages in the human life. We have waking state, a sleeping state, a dreaming state, and the silent state of the mind, free from thoughts and everything. So here, awareness, awareness with the silence, sleeping, dreaming. But here, Herculetus said, we have to take more care relating with waking. While you are waking, be careful, be watchful, learn something, be alert. Your alertness creates more understanding. Your alertness creates more protection to you. If you miss your alertness, then you may face so many problems in the life. So alertness is your light. So when you are doing anything, if you have a alertness, that alertness is a light for your life. You may get more good things relating with your life. So here dogs bark at what they don't understand. So sometimes the dogs bark when they do. So here when the dog understands, it won't bark. In the same manner, when you have doubts, ambitions, conflicts, then you have to question, you have to argue, you have to ask, you have to inquire everything. So after getting understanding, you will become very silent. For understanding, you may inquire. For doing research and search, they are relating with inquiry. So in the inquiry is the most important thing in the beginning stage. If you find many things, then you may get more silence relating with life. Nothing is, everything is become. So when you are a silent state of mind with a peace of soul, then you will be very tranquil. So if you expect more, many things, if you accumulate more information, you may become different something what actually true nature is. So here um, being is a enlightenment, becoming is a ignorance. You have to know about your pure state of mind and the soul. When you know about your pure state of mind, you will get more understanding and happiness. If you don't have any inner vision, then you may get. So here, the failure of human existence coming from when they have no faith and confidence on oneself. You have a confidence on your soul, your energies, then you may get more success. So your confidence, belief come from constant working, constant effort, constant preparation. So if you get through hard work and preparation, if you get confidence on the basis of good things, you may enter great success. So day by day, what you do, who you become. So in the past you have done, in the present, so the past actions and the present action, the past actions plus present actions will go to future actions. That's why if you do at present very good thoughts, actions, words and everything, the present will become fast. Automatically the future will come to present. So the present is the all time. If you do nice things in the present, then you won't get any problem in the life. The present is the most important thing in the life. So here, understanding is a most important thing. Don't expect anything. Be desireless. Be pure. Do moment to moment. Have a inner peace. Then your life will be very pleasant. So here Hercules said, your character is the most important for your future. Your words, your ideas, your thoughts. So live at present. Don't bother about your past and the future. Have mental peace. Don't having any impurities like sadness, jealousy, and anger, and all types of psychological poisons. Be comfortable. So develop your good character. Develop your character with the highest level. Then your life will be very pleasant. I concluded this speech, Amreshwar.
Sir, thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Now I am requesting our noble participant to interact with Professor Chennai, sir. Over to our participants. Dr. Sushila madam and others.
So here, Hercules has given most important for a character. So character is a vital thing in the human being. So if you have no good character, you won't have more peace and happiness. Okay, Amreshwar.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Pawan, sir.
So, Amreshwar.
Sir. I will start, sir. Sir, actually, regarding character, nowadays, after observing the political parties and their manifestos and their behavior, there is no meaning of character. What we can learn from these political parties, sir?
So, according to the great world famous philosopher Hercules, he said, your character is your guardian divinity. He used the word guardian divinity. Your character is your God. Your character is your fate. Your character is your asset. Your character is your wealth. So here, good character and the bad character. So here, if you have a good character, God will bless you. If you have bad character, God won't bless you. So here, the law of action is the governing principle in the universe. If you do good things, you will get good results. If you do bad things, you will get bad results. So here, action plays vital role. For happiness or unhappiness, depend upon our actions. That's why some people may create deceptions, lies, craving, something, bad promises, bad things. So people are more careful. in the world, they may give sufficient response. So here, for a happy life, for a politician point of view, administrator, anybody, in the human being life, our fate depends upon our thoughts. That's why if anybody violates the law of action, if anybody has no respect and moral values, they may face the bad consequences in the future, because this is the law. So this is the human life is just like a eco relationship. So if you follow moral values and good actions, good behavior with the people, you may get the same echo. Echo means resound. When you go to any forest in a cave, if you say, I love you, it may say, I love you. So if you say anything, it may give resound. In the same manner, the human world is just like a cave. It is a echo relation. If you talk very pleasantly with some people, they may talk very pleasantly. If you focus more angry and unpleasant things to other, they may focus same thing. That's why the politicians are we have two types of politicians, very good politicians and deceptive politicians. So the good politicians may get a good echo from the people. The bad politicians may get a bad echo from the people. So they are responsible for their actions. They may face the consequences on the basis of their actions. So this is the human life. So it is not only the relating with the politicians and the administrators. For every being is entitled for their actions, consequences. That's why. So here we have to remember good behavior, good thought, good action, good word. These are most important for pleasant life in the world. Amreshwar.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Now, Pavan sir.
Yes, sir. Namaste, sir.
Namaste,
Hello.
namaste.
Namaste.
Please.
Namaste, sir.
You ask one good question straightly.
Okay, sir.
You ask a straight question relating with the subject, then we may share some good things.
Okay, sir. Then Heraclitus content way. Heraclitus content way. What is the how can develop that international peaceful characterization of personal developing, sir?
So okay, very good. And so here Heraclitus says the entire world is the one. Here human beings have a relationship. In the relationships, if we want to get more pleasantness, happiness, our characters should be very good. So he's telling the top level politicians, decision makers, leaders, people have to develop good character. So the good character is not coming from one day. It is coming slowly, day by day, year in. If you develop more good feeling, just like a love and affection, then you may get. So really relating with international and peace and understanding, according to the great world famous philosopher Heraclitus said, remove your jealousy, hatred, anger, sadness, deception, lies in the behavior of the people. Have a kindness, understanding, love, affection, truthfulness. So he is telling a character based on truth, honesty, peace, confidence, authenticity. That type of character is a very useful for international peace and understanding. He is prescribing, develop that type of character. Then we will live very pleasantly in the world. That is the answer I am giving, Pavan Kumar.
Okay, sir. Very good, sir. But that personality developing, what type of foundation? What type of foundation that the kingdom and that international kingdom and that reforms follow
So,
into UNA based on, sir? what type of reforms to follow? UNO based on that is like sun
Hello.
and like sun and wind, like sun and wind. How can functioning that our world all are to
So here, here,
equally that normative science way. That's way that international peaceful and non-violence way. What are the reforms to do? That foundation of characteristics. The developing of foundation
so here,
characteristics.
I understood your question because if you want to create peace in the world, you have to create peace in the nations. If you want to create peace in the nations, you have to create peace in the cities. If you want to create peace in the cities, you have to create peace in your neighbors. If you want to create peace in your neighbors, you have to create peace in your home. If you want to create peace in your home, you have to create peace in your mind and your heart. So here, the reformations of the world level, or the country level, or a family level, or a city level, come from individual. So here, Heraclitus telling for a transformation of the world or the universe or the nature or the human existence, the individual has to take more responsibility. So if he changes his mind, if he changes his bad behavior into right behavior, automatically the right thoughts will focus in the future. That's why change in the individual level is the most important. Change comes from the world is a secondary world, but individual is a part of the world. If you change yourself, that is a change of the world. If you want to transform anything in the world, don't bother about the world and everything. You have to transform. So yeah, for example, if you have a small torchlight in the darkness, if you on your torchlight, you may show some light some area. That is also light in the world. In the same manner, you may be one individual. If you change yourself, that change will create change in the world, because the individual changed into the world change. That's why with the right observation, right mood, right understanding, individual change is essential. Through individual transformation, you may transform the entire world.
Sir,
Amresh, sir.
sir, this is okay, sir. This is okay. This is theory based on okay, sir. But scientifically, experimentally, researching way,
So
offering.
it is not a story. It is not a story.
Okay,
You have
okay,
not understood very clearly. So it is not a theory. It is not. It is a very practical. You see, if you are talking very pleasantly, I am talking. For
okay,
example,
sir.
if you are talking very negatively, I may talk very negatively.
No, no,
So
sir. No, no,
here
sir. No.
he is a very practical philosopher.
Okay.
Here, Heraclitus.
Okay,
So
okay, sir.
here,
Okay, sir.
you see, in the society, people are talking negatively. Automatically, other people are also talking. The people are expressing love, and other people. This is a very practical. This is not a story. This is not a imaginary things. You have to follow very carefully, moment to moment. These are very practical lessons. That here, Heraclitus said, individual change is the most important. It is not a theory. If you have no understanding about the meaning and the content and the practical outlook, you won't understand. If you have to go with a practical sense, if you have no clear attention on these words, you won't understand. That's why the change comes from clear perception. This is a theory. For example, if you have seen a poisonous cobra, seeing that cobra and escaping that cobra is immediate. If you see any cobra, you won't ask any to your family members, shall I bring this poisonous cobra to our house? So seeing and acting is immediate. In the same manner, if you listen very good words, automatically the words will transform your life. Pawan Kumar.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. I understand you, sir. But our UNO based on, but our world nations,
No, you are not understood.
UNO based on.
You are not understood my answer. I have told very clearly. You are asking again same question. I have answered very well. So you ask different question relating with Heraclitus life and everything. I have clearly told about the transformation of world and everything. So here, this is not a political statement. So if you change yourself, then it may affect in the others. I have answered. You asked different question relating with life and problems relating with Herculetus and society. Then we may answer. I have answered this question. You ask different questions.
Oh, okay, sir. Nowadays, sir, nowadays that any foreign countries or our India, non-violence is here. Non-violence that mostly the effect on poor poverty, economic and education. These are no fulfillment, no characterization, no fully to foundation of personal developing. Then everything to violence, sir. How can that changes? These three things.
So actually,
Reforms.
So if you have loved any time, you may have experience. When there is a love with anybody, we may give anything. Love gives, love shares, love helps. So here, if you flower more love in the human beings, if they think the human family is one, human beings are one, if they have a lovely heart with the human existence, so we don't find any poverty because of egoistic outlook, because of self-centeredness, because of thinking that entire human family is not one. That type of outlook is preventing to share many things. We have abundance of wealth and everything. So here you see there is no shortage of food for the birds, animals and everything in the nature. So human beings, why? Human beings thinking is different. That's why. So love alone can solve. If you have a pure mind, you may share. You don't find any unemployment or a malnutrition or a corruption or anything because of lack of love. So when the law of love functions, we don't find any domination, any poverty in the world. When the power of love rules in the world, we don't find love. That's why we have to rule our world on the basis of love. Love means giving, sharing. So that we expect in the world for avoiding what you are telling, the illiteracy or the poverty or malnutrition or any types of problems. So here love solves all the problems. Amresh sir.
Okay,
Thank
sir.
you.
Very good,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Very good, sir.
Wonderful.
That normative science way, how can love to the sharing of our universe, sir? Our integration of universe personality, sir. How can love sharing?
You are
That,
a
what
person,
reforms
you are
to
a
do?
you are a married person or unmarried person,
Married, sir.
Pawan Kumar?
Married, sir. Married.
Do you have a children?
Yes, sir. Two, sir. Son and daughter, sir.
Okay,
10th
okay.
class, 10th class and 9th
See,
class standing, sir.
you see, for example, as a parent, if you purchased some vegetables or some fruits or chocolates or biscuits, if you go to your home, if you hand over the biscuit chocolate to your children, if you talk very pleasantly to your children, every day if you encourage them with love and affection, if they done some negative things, don't bother about them. You are right. If you talk always positively, after some time they may get extraordinary confidence on you. In the same manner, in the human society, if you share, if you do good things for other people, automatically our actions create extraordinary change in the society. In the same manner, in the family, if you treat our people in the family nice manner, we may get a positive response. So if you treat very nicely to your children, automatically if you ask for water, they may take immediately. If you say some one thing, they may act immediately. Otherwise, if you quarrel, if you harass, if you beat the people, sometimes they may react with a negative manner. In the same manner, in the society, if you treat people with a sharing manner, automatically that effect we find. So in the elections, for some leaders, they may get extraordinary results. So on the basis of their works, sometimes some leaders may get defeat on the basis of their action. So here, for good society, for harmony, good behavior, goodness sharing, love sharing, helping. These are most important for transformation of individual and the society. Pawan
Okay,
Kumar.
sir. Very good explanation, sir. Very good explanation, sir. Okay, sir. But I am asking Gandhi
Thank you.
philosophy way that our wind and
You
Sir,
ask,
Pavan sir, it is
ask,
better
okay,
to
sir.
give
Okay,
a chance to
okay, sir.
others. Pavan
Okay,
sir.
sir. Okay, sir. Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you.
Okay. You so here Gandhi also I understood your question. I am not denying your question. I understood. So I caught your question also. Your Gandhi also telling where there is a love, there is a life. Where there is a love, there is a sharing. So he said, Gandhi also said these things. If you go very clearly, we find these things. Amresh sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Wonderful explanation, sir. Any other? I think because of the network
Sir,
issue, they are unable
sir,
to
I am asking, sir,
interact.
I am asking that
Okay.
our respiration, how can
Huh?
it functioning that normal scientific way? That respiration under that sunlight. That's way that integration of foundation of calculation reforms to everything is good, sir. That you and my and so many are there. That reforms no, reforms no. What things? Main poor poverty, education, and economic reference. These things are suffering every human being in the world. These things mainly.
So you have yeah, okay. You have not understood my thing.
I understood, sir. I have
Actually,
understood everything. I have understood everything.
so actually,
40%, 40%
actually,
human beings. So you
actually,
and myself is here, sir. 40% human beings. You and myself. Our seminars. Human beings are internationally everywhere is here. But changing is character is good, sir. That reforms. How what foundation that UNO based on. That what reforms? What reforms?
I
That
will, I will
limitation.
ask one thing. I
Okay,
will
sir.
ask one thing.
Okay, sir.
So you are going in a road. In front of you, 20 meters ago, there is a bomb blasting. While you are walking on the road, you have seen bomb blasting.
Yes, sir.
Will you go to bomb blasting place to give shake hand to the dust, or will you escape from that place? So here, you have to see the originality of the world. Through seeing, you may get transformation. If you have an experience of love, you may give love to the humanity. You may get resound from that society. So here, the all problems are relating with our human being mind. If you extend love, good perception, good understanding, automatically you can transform yourself and you can transform. This comes from great insight and great awareness. You have a great sensitivity awareness, you can change yourself and you may contribute for the change of the world. These are most important things in the world. So if you see any danger, seeing the danger and escaping the danger is immediate. Seeing the danger and acting that danger is immediate. That's why clear perception is the most important to solve any problem. That is the most important thing here, Pawan Kumar.
Okay,
Okay,
okay, sir.
Amresh
Okay,
sir.
sir. Okay, sir. Very good, sir. Very good. But I am asking
Thank
feature that what are the
you have
kingdoms?
not understood. You have not understood
Sir,
actually. Yeah,
sir,
so
I am
you have
understanding, sir.
not.
I am understanding, sir. I am
You are
understanding
not
everything.
under. I said,
Okay,
the
okay,
future
okay, sir.
depends upon
Ah,
you follow. The future depends
but
upon present action. The present actions become fast. You should be very careful. So if you talk with anybody with a pleasant manner in the future, they may respond positively. Or if you quarrel with somebody in the future, they won't talk.
sir,
That's
like Ambedkar,
why
sir, Babu Rajendra Prasad Ambedkar,
be
how
careful
can
in the
that?
present. Be
Okay, sir.
you
Babu,
talk. You don't bother.
okay,
Don't. Let's see. You have to understand the concept. See, don't quote anybody. So here you asked one question. I have telling the exact sense you have to understand. So don't bother about what said. But you have to understand very carefully what I say. If you have no understanding capacity, then my answer will not get any fulfillment to you. So here I said all the things. You have to understand very carefully. Then you may get more advantage for my answers. So if you escape my answer, if you go with somewhere else, you won't get any advantage for my answers. That's why if you have a glass of water at present in our hand, drink that water. If you throw that water and you try for a pot of water, then you won't get. That's why I said something to you. You follow this, you understand this, then you may get more understanding. Then you start another thing. Okay, Pawan Kumar.
Thank you very much, sir. With your permission, may I go for presentation, extraordinary keynote address.
Okay, Amresh sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Good evening to Professor Chennai sir, my guru, collaborator, keynote speaker. A warm welcome to all 50th International Workshop on Quantitative Research Sampling Methods. The outline of the presentation, introduction, learning outcome, conclusion. The only one learning outcome of the present session, understand the various types of sampling methods or techniques in quantitative research, so probability sampling techniques and non-probability sampling technique. As usual, before going to the topic, the life related. Being a teacher of teacher education or education, we are always expecting the application part, whatever the student they learn in the classroom, it is their duty to apply in their daily life. So if you take Bloom's taxonomy, is the knowledge, understanding, application, analysis, evaluation, and creation. Above application also we have analysis, evaluation, and creation. Creation is the highest order. So here, but maximum students are unable to apply. But at the same time, if you see the 21st century, those who have good internet and of good communication skills, interaction, and that, but not all, we cannot generalize. To generalize, we need a representative sample or sampling technique, probability sampling technique. Then only we can generalize. So there are n number of ways are there to learn: formal way, non-formal way, informal way. Here, the sample, it is not possible to go and collect data from each and every one in India. Suppose 136 crores of population based on the latest data. How is it possible? Recently, the government of India refused to take the actually the hunger number of people are under below poverty line. So the data shows we are worse than Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka. So the government of India openly said you have collected only data from limited number. This is not suitable sufficient to generalize the whole population of India, 136 crores of population like this. That is true. So how much percentage of the population of we can select as a sample? There are n number of ways are there. So that's why it is our duty to learn something practical way of life. Here, overcome your fear and be fearlessness. Pawan sir is rightly asked so many questions at international level, UNESCO, why this one, that one, poverty. Actually, Professor Chennai sir rightly answered. Present is important. Whatever you are doing at present, it will become your result, or the future is depend on your present. So the present will become the past. So in this way, the past is beyond recovery. We are not sure of the future. The given moment is the right time. Do right action. Kal kare se aaj kare se ab pal mein parlai hoegi. Pohri kare na kab. That's why actually an individual is the responsible for his own poverty, his own strength, his own limitations. Myself, I'm the best example. Sri Venkateswara University, I did my undergraduate, post graduation, two MEd and MA, even doctoral research, PhD, and postdoctoral research work. So Professor Chennai sir very nicely suggested. When I was a research scholar, I presented more than 46 papers at national, international conferences. I visited many places within India. After joining Pukor's job, I entered in, went to outside India also. But that time, Professor Chennai sir made one comment. This is a preparatory period to settle somewhere. You will maybe settle at early as possible. So what you are doing at present, that's why the another video also I'm going to show you whatever thought in you. So at international level also there are so many reports, but how much authentic it is, that is different. But Swayam Krushi, you are from Andhra Pradesh only, Nellore district. There are so n number of things. Manasunte margam untundi. So there is a will, there is a way. So n number of things are there. We can take us on maybe on panel discussion. That is the right platform to discuss in detail. So this video is very motivational and inspirational. Over to you.
Once, a monk was sitting under a tree outside the village. Under that tree, there lived a mouse in a hole. The monk saw that the rat was repeatedly trying to get out of his hole and then go inside. When this happened several times, the monk used the power of his mantra and started talking to the mouse. He asked the mouse, "Oh mouse, you are trying to get out of your hole, but due to some fear, you go back to the hole. Are you scared of me?" The mouse said, "No, sir, I am not scared of you. But actually, there are some cats which lives around this tree. I am scared of those cats. I am afraid if I came out of my hole, cats will kill me and eat me. That's why I am not coming out of my burrow. I am hungry from last many days, but due to fear of cat, I cannot come out. I wish I was also a cat. Had I been a cat, I would roam freely and would not fear cat." Monk saw that this rat is very coward. He said to rat, "You see, friend, one day everyone has to die. For how long will you keep dying every day of such fear? So get out of your burrow and find your food. Yes, be a little careful, but throw out the fear of the cat from your heart." The rat said, "Sir, those cats are very dangerous. I can't stop fearing cat. If you want to help me, then please make me cat. Otherwise, stop advising me." Saying this, the rat started crying. The monk felt pity on him and said, "Okay, my friend, if you are happy to be a cat, then I will make you a cat." Saying this, the monk closed his eyes, muttered some mantra in his mouth, and suddenly rat turned into a cat. As soon as the rat became cat, he jumped up with joy and ran away to find its food. Few days passed. One day, again monk was sitting under same tree and meditating. He heard a sound of cat's cry. When he opened his eyes, he saw that the same cat was sitting beside him and crying. The monk asked her the reason for her crying. The cat said, "Oh wise one, ever since I have become cat, I am afraid of dogs. One day, some dogs attacked me and tried to kill me. I barely saved my life." Then the cat said, "Sir, please make me dog so that I may live fearlessly." The monk again felt pity on the cat and muttered some mantra in his mouth. And suddenly, the cat turned into a dog. As soon as the cat became dog, he ran away in search of food. Few days passed like this. One day, the monk was sitting under the same tree and meditating. Just then, the dog came running to him and started crying. The monk opened his eyes and asked him, "What happened, my friend? Why are you crying?" The dog said, "Sir, I am not happy after becoming dog. One day, I went into the jungle nearby the village, and suddenly a lion attacked me and tried to kill me. I narrowly escaped from there. Now, I am always afraid of lion. Please make me lion, so that I may roam freely in the jungle without any fear. The monk was very compassionate. He again felt pity on the dog and made him lion with his mantra. As soon as he became lion, he ran away from there and went in jungle. After few days, one day, again monk was sitting under the tree and meditating. Just then, the lion came and started crying beside him. The monk opened his eyes and asked him, "What happened, my friend? Why are you crying?" The lion said, "O wise one, I am not happy after becoming lion. One day, I was roaming freely in the jungle. Just then, some people started following me and tried to imprison me in the cage. They also shoot fire on me. Now, I am always afraid of humans. I always fear that someday they will catch me and imprison me in the cage. Please make me human so that I may not have any fear and may live happily." Monk looked at him, smiled, and then he said, "My friend, you became king of the jungle, but still you lived in fear. Whatever you become, you will still have fear, because your fear is in your heart. I can change your body with my power, but I can't change your heart. Your heart will always be of a mouse. You have to overcome this fear of yourself. Otherwise, you will spend your whole life in a fear." After listening to the monk, the mouse understood that fear was inside him. Until he does not control his fear, whatever he becomes, he will continue to be afraid and be timid. Then he decided to change himself to live without fear, and he became a rat again. If we see in our lives, we will find that there are many of us who always live in some kind of fear. A student is afraid of exams, and a job worker is afraid of his boss. Some people are afraid of the future, and some are afraid of death. Every person is carrying some kind of fear in his life. Those who achieve success in their life, they also feel fear at some point of time, but they don't let their fear dominate them. They face their fear, and that's why they become successful. Fear is such a disease that never lets us reach the height of success, because due to fear, we either change our decisions or we change ourselves. Therefore, if you want to move ahead in your life, then you have to conquer your fear.
So very nice video. The fear is inside. So they taken n number of animals. This is a different types we can use: stratified random sampling or purposive sampling. Actually, the base is based on your research questions or objectives of the study. I'm going to present one by one later. Now you will get whatever you desire. That's why I informed to Pavan sir. Some people, if they maybe feel that I am a poor person, it is their or his or her duty to overcome that one by doing what they can do. So, but maximum nowadays, what they're doing, only thinking I want to become a rich man within a day or within hours easily, but great things never achieved easily and quickly is step by step. Suppose when I initiated with the help of Professor Chennai sir and Dr. Swatasini madam, a series of 100 programs, many teachers, colleagues, they felt, oh, is it possible to organize? How it is possible without any financial support? How it is possible, where you will get a number of topics? So they have n number of doubts, but half of the journey already we complete. Today we're going to complete. So it's if you have a strong desire, it is possible to achieve. So how a person can learn from this monk? You can over to you.
Once upon a time, in ancient China, there lived a monk who was known for his ability to solve difficult problems. One day, he had two visitors who needed his advice. Both were polite young men, and each insisted that the other should go first. After some discussion, they discovered that their questions were essentially the same. So they settled on speaking with the sage at the same time. One of the young men asked the monk, "Master, our problems are similar. We are both low-level employees, being treated badly at work. We get no respect at all, and our employers constantly push us around. Can you please tell us if we should quit our jobs or not?" The monk closed his eyes and meditated at length. The two young men waited patiently until finally the monk opened his eyes. He gave them the answer in 5 words: only a bowl of rice. The two young men thanked the monk and departed. They contemplated the answer as they walked back to the city. After a while, one of them broke the silence and said, "That was interesting. What do you think? What did the sage mean?" The other one was thoughtful. He said, "Well, it is fairly obvious that the bowl of rice represents our daily meals." "I agree," said the first young man. "I think he was telling us that the job is nothing more than a means to make a living." "Yes, when you come right down to it, that's all we get out of the job. Just our daily meals." And they went their separate ways. One of them continued working at the same place, and the other one submitted a letter of resignation immediately upon his return. He went home to the countryside and took up farming. After several years, this young man achieved considerable success as a farmer. He used what he had learned in the city to import high-quality seeds. The fruits and vegetables he grew became known as the best in the region. He enjoyed not only great profits, but also a reputation as an expert. The young man who remained at work also did well. It was as if he became a different person. He took on difficult tasks and demonstrated an ability to handle adversity. He rose up through the ranks and received one promotion after another until he became a manager. One day, the two of them met again by chance. Once they got caught up with each other, they realized that they had taken two very different paths based on the exact same answer from the monk. They were both wealthy and happy, but which path was the correct one? They were not able to understand. "How strange," the manager said. "The master said same thing to us, and we both heard it the same way. Then why did you quit job?" The farmer was also puzzled. He said, "Is not it obvious?" I understood his words immediately. The job was nothing more than the means to get my daily meals. So why force myself to stay in a horrible situation just for a bowl of rice? Quitting was obviously the right thing to do. "But why did you stay there?" The manager said, "I also think it should be obvious. The job meant nothing more than a bowl of rice. So why was I getting so worked up over it?" As soon as I understood this, I realized that there was no need for me to get so upset. I did not have to take the abuse heaped on me personally. So of course, I stayed there. Is not that what he meant?" The farmer shook his head and said, Now, I am completely confused. Did he mean for us to take your path or my path? Let us go and see him again and get to the bottom of this. So once again, they presented themselves before the monk and explained the reason for their visit. One of them said, "Master, as you can see, we would really like to know the real meaning of your advice some years ago. Can you give us some insight?" Again, the monk closed his eyes. The two men waited patiently as before. After some time, the monk opened his eyes and gave them his answer. And again, in 5 words. And those 5 words were only a difference of thought. If we see in our lives, then we will find that, like those two men, we all have different paths to follow. Every person has the ability to do something special in a particular field. All you need to do is to discover your passion and just follow it. That monk said same words to both of them, and both of them interpreted the words of the monk differently. But both of them achieved the same result, which was success, wealth, and happiness. Because both the men followed the point of the monk according to their interest, and both got success in their field. Similarly, if you also want to achieve success in your life, then do not follow someone else's passion. Rather, follow your own passion and do what you enjoy doing. And unless you follow your passion, you will not get success, wealth, and happiness.
Right. What we can learn from this video, actually you have a problem. It is your duty to select what type of approach or method or way to resolve it. A person can take in one way or another person can in maybe another way. But in research, what is happening? Suppose I may be a expert in one field, a qualitative or quantitative or mixed method or something. I can suggest based on my previous knowledge and past experience. But at the same time, each and every researcher, teacher, student, scholar supposed to remember there may be alternative way also is there. Alternative ways are also there. Methods are also there. Techniques are also there. Which one is suitable? Maybe something is suitable for you, maybe not suitable for some other. Based on your economic position, you are trying to purchase price of your mobile or two-wheeler or four-wheeler or your way of life, quality of life, sorry. So in the same way, we have different conditions, different criterias are available before going to select. These are qualitative, quantitative research methods. Already we done non-experimental research and experimental observation research, archive data survey, and here under experimental, quasi-experimental, pre-experimental, quasi-experimental, true experimental research designs or methods. So what is sampling? Actually, those who are other than social sciences are also they are using, even the science and the natural sciences, physical sciences, engineering, management, medicine. They know very well, but social sciences, especially the education, psychology, sociology, population studies, adult education, we are always dependent on this type of quantitative data research and what is sampling method, sampling techniques, and instead of collecting data from whole population, sampling is what is sampling. A sample is a subset of individual from larger population. Suppose I'm sitting in the city of Tirupati, Lord Balaji. So here I want to take what is there any water problem in the city Tirupati? I cannot take only this area Dhanalakshmi Nagar, this one. While taking the Dhanalakshmi Nagar, actually this area the water problem is more when compared with the other areas. Maybe some areas are more problem than this area, maybe a less problem than this area. I can't. So what I can take north, west, east, south, northeast, and in middle Then only I can, as a representative, by taking a mean, I can, okay, this number of parts. So it is not possible for me. Lakhs of people are staying here to collect data based on, maybe it takes more than 4 months when it is rainy. The problem may be less based on seasons also. Because nowadays pilgrims every day more than 1 lakh visiting Tirumala, Lord Venkateswara, Lord Balaji temple. So it is very difficult in summer. It is too much difficult because of temperature 40 to 50 degrees Celsius. Suppose their education institutions are also they close. There are n number of factors associated on it. Why? So here it is impossible to collect data from population, but sample. That sampling meaning selecting the group that you will actually collect data from in your research. So whom to ask? Suppose a person going to office and just coming and taking lunch or dinner or breakfast, he doesn't know how they are getting water. There is no use. So you may ask, maybe ladies, those who are handling, those who are really managing, they can know better than others. Simply some people, they never entered into kitchen, they don't know. Simply giving hand over money to life partners, they are managing, but they know the problems, where to get, how to get, why to get, whom to get. But if I'm unable, so that's why selecting a right person, right sample or sampling technique is the best way to achieve your goal. In statistics, sampling allows you to test a hypothesis about the characteristics of a population. So you need to understand the problems of women. So women at every stage, maybe at 30s or 40s or 50s 60s, senior citizen, they have their different problem. Maybe youngsters, they have different problem. Middle agers, they have different problem. So all problems are not the same for no two persons are exactly same or identical. It is not possible to take everything for, so it is impossible. What, that's why sometimes the multi-stage sampling techniques are also there. Will sampling, what is the sampling? Some basic terminology it is better to understand. The sampling frame is actual list of individuals that the sample will be drawn from. Ideally, it should include the entire target population. Suppose I need where to get a population of the Tirupati. So water ID is the best example. I can't go here and there. So water list, but water list also where I can only 18 years and above, those who are enrolled. But about less than 18 years, so where to get is the MRO office, maybe nowadays other centers. So otherwise any government official, those who are handling the records, this birth and death certificates they issuing. So there are n number of ways where to get. If I go only electoral ID, maybe those who are issuing, they are not, they don't have any data up to 18 years. If I go somewhere, education institutions, it is impossible. So right place selecting the list, who is handling, maybe a registrar office, those who are handling all people's, this is the right place. Sample size, the number of individuals you should include in your sample depends on various factors here. Variability is a range and standard deviation, all those things. There are different sample size calculator. I want to show you practically. I don't know how many here participants are aware how to select a sample size by using this sampling calculator or sample size calculator. Simply I can show you before. Actually in workshop, this is the main aim of the workshop, to show first-hand information with the hands-on activities. This is very very nice. Even I shared with my scholars. There is nothing secret. We can learn everything through online maximum. This is sample size calculator. What is the test family, sample group, and here tails on the effect size, significant level, 0.05 level or 0.01 level, or power. What is the power? Actually, a statistical power ability of the study to detect a result that is exists in nature. Actually, 0.8 is the high, impossible to get a 1. That's why if you simply click this one, you can select automatically what is the sample size and how much you need and the effect size. So here see the discussion about to select an appropriate effect size. What is the effect size? Here, power, everything they are giving. Whenever you are visiting any website, web page, it is better. Normal probability, Cisco, correlation. See, this is the right side. So this is the best way I can share this on in your chat box also. Those who need, they can go through it. Those who join through laptop or desktop. So this is no need to ask, even those who are research scholars, sometimes they are not aware how much sample I can take. There is no hard and fast rule to take only 20% of the total population or 30%. So actually we need the representation sometimes. So one by one we can learn. There are two classification within the sampling techniques: non-probability or probability sampling techniques. Even non-probability is convenience sampling, judgment or purpose sampling, quota sampling, and snowball sampling. Under probability sampling, simple random sampling, maximum researchers are using this one, simple random sampling, and systematic sampling or stratified random or cluster sampling. Again, some other researchers, they can, representation is maybe a different here. Probability, simple, cluster, systematic, and stratified, non same here. Convenience sampling, judgmental sampling, snowball, and quota sampling. Probability and non-probability. It is not possible to collect data from the whole population. That's why we need a sample. The sample is a group of individuals who will actually participate in the research. So under this, population versus sample. So I can show you one image. By seeing that image, you can understand population is the entire. Already I taken Tirupati as an example. Each and every person, not zero, maybe after giving birth only. So they want to till date. So whoever may be a senior citizen up to all people, we can take irrespective of caste, religion, region, or age, or sex, everyone will come under. But sometimes your purpose, research purpose, is to identify the problems of working women. In that cases, the working women only the population who are working in Tirupati, they are come under your population, not the whole population. Population in general, based on your idea or your aim or your objective. The sample specific group, here I need, suppose I need taxi drivers, Tirupati pilgrim. So what are the problems of taxi drivers? So all taxi drivers, maybe a male, who have female taxi drivers also. Nowadays, not only a four-wheeler, even two-wheeler taxis are also available. The mobile tax we are calling. So why are samples used in research? That's why a 5Ws 1H is very, very important. Samples are used to make inferences. This is the best to test a hypothesis. And in general, in the quantitative, those are probability sampling we are doing. In the qualitative research, it is not to create, test the hypothesis in general, to create a theory or develop a concept. We are using non-probability sampling techniques and qualitative research. Samples are easier to collect data from because they are practical, cost-effective, convenient, and manageable. Suppose I am doing research. Sometimes without, if I get a financial support, I can recruit some people to collect data. But if is there, suppose if there is no such type of financial support, I supposed to collect by myself. It is not possible. The given time bounds. Whenever you are doing any research, two things are very important: the finance and time bound. So PhD in general, 3 years minimum, 5 years maximum. What type of topic to select? Research scholar, it is under your control and finishable and reachable and complete. It is better to complete on time. So this is a population. So within this, we are taking the sample. How to select and whom to select, that is based on these sampling techniques. This is again population and sample. This one is a random sample. Actually, randomization or a random generation. How to select randomly? We can select a random number. So it automatically it can generate how to select sample. This is a control group. This is for experimental research purpose. So to understand understand the concept before going to further another slide. This is actually a 5-minute video from this website. Very nicely define and select population and sample. Over to you.
Your research design should clearly define who your research will focus on and how you go about choosing your participants. In research, a population is the entire group that you want to draw conclusions about, while sample is the smaller group of individuals you actually collect data from. In this video, I'll explain how to define your population and introduce you to some strategies for selecting a sample. Hi, I'm Jessica from Scribber, here to help you achieve your academic goals. First, it's important to clearly define the population you're interested in studying. In research, a population can be made up of anything you want to study: plants, animals, text, organizations, countries, etc. But in the social sciences, it most often refers to a group of people. Will you focus on people from a specific demographic, region, or background? Are you interested in people with a certain job or medical condition, or users of a particular product? Here's a tip. The more precisely you define your population, the easier it will be to gather a representative sample. For example, if you're studying the effectiveness of online teaching in the US, it would be very difficult to get a sample that's representative of all high school students in the country. To make the research more manageable and to draw more precise conclusions, you could focus on a narrower population. Let's say 9th grade students in low-income areas of New York. But that's still a lot of students. Next, you should consider how you select a sample from this population. To select a sample, there are two main approaches: probability sampling and non-probability sampling. Probability sampling means the sample is selected using random methods. It's mainly used in quantitative research. Non-probability sampling means the sample is selected in a non-random way. It's almost always used in qualitative research, and it can also be used in quantitative research. The sampling method you use affects how confidently you can generalize your results to the population as a whole. Let's take a closer look at these two approaches. Probability sampling helps ensure that your sample is representative and unbiased. With this type of sample, you can use statistics to draw strong conclusions about the whole population. There are various methods of probability sampling. For example, with simple random sampling and systematic sampling, you select a sample completely at random from the whole population. With stratified sampling, you divide a population into subgroups and draw a random sample from each subgroup. With cluster sampling, you divide a population into clusters, for example, geographical areas, and randomly select some of these clusters for your sample. Probability sampling requires that you have a list of all potential subjects or cluster in the population. That means it's often quite difficult to achieve in practice unless you're dealing with a very small and accessible population. In our example, you could use cluster sampling. First, you compile a list of all schools in low-income areas of New York, and then use a random number generator to select a sample of schools to collect data from. Non-probability samples are much easier to achieve, but they have more risk of bias. If you choose a sample based on the most convenient and accessible members of the population, or if you rely on volunteers for your study, your sample might differ in systematic ways from the population as a whole. For example, high academic achievers might be more likely to volunteer to take part in an online teaching study than students in general. In this case, your results would be biased towards students who already tend to have higher grades. For practical reasons, many studies end up relying on convenient sample, but it's important to be aware of the limitations and carefully consider potential biases. You should always make an effort to gather a sample that's as representative as possible of the population. Check out our article to learn more about common methods of probability and non-probability sampling. In some types of qualitative design, sampling may not be relevant. For example, in an ethnography or case study, your aim is to deeply understand a specific context, not to generalize to a population. Instead of sampling, you may simply aim to collect as much data as possible about the context you're studying. In these types of design, you still have to carefully consider your choice of case or community. You should have a clear rationale for why this particular case is suitable for answering your research question. For example, you might choose a case study that reveals an unusual or neglected aspect of your research problem. Or you might choose several very similar or very different cases in order to compare them. Once you've defined your population and have an idea of how you select your sample, it's time to decide on the methods you use to collect data. See you in the next video.
Right. Probability sampling methods. There are simple random sampling. Actually, the random number generator is online, is available. If you enter the number of sample, automatically it will provide whom to select. Maybe based on your population is 100, how much to select. Sample size is there. After getting sample size and to generate some random number generator, maybe a first and the seventh, and it gives some based on some logical. So this one is systematic. Here, see what is happening. You have some, suppose the first one or fifth one, again 4 gap. If you are giving some systematic, you can select here. See what is happening. The third one again to the sixth one. So they can select like this. The second one again, the fifth one again here, the eighth one. So how many the two they are living. So here in this way the system, the strata actually based on your sex, male. Suppose I need a male wise this much, and we are calling sometimes gender, but sex is the right way. And religion and rural and urban, I need 50 sample from rural and 50 sample from urban. Suppose the students problem in one college, suppose our collaborator MORAN college, maybe a students from rural areas, students from urban areas, students from working people, children, or maybe a self-employed children, maybe a farmer's children. There's maybe a rural, urban, semi-urban, municipal. There are n number of things. So each cluster, within cluster also, again by using in the stratified random sampling, actually simple random is also inside. It's an integral part. Within this cluster, whom to select, again you can use simple random technique. So cluster, this one is actually, suppose the municipal is divided into different cluster 1, cluster 2, cluster 3. It is better to take from all the cluster, then only you can say the problems of Tirupati municipal, the water problem or roads or any other things. While taking only one cluster, it is not so representation. That's why these are all our representative sampling techniques. This is other graphical representation to understand what is a simple random, how they're selecting here these two among the 50%. Here clusters, here sample 1, and this is a whole graph. We can select based on here systematic people among the 100 in each. Maybe they can select 2 here to 10. Within 10, 2 are they selected systematically and stratified strata here. Maybe a 5 kg to 6 kg here, sorry, 1000. Maybe their salary you can take here 2000 to 3000, 3000 to 4000, maybe academic position. So maybe based on your what is the strata, some may be the income, some may be age, some may be caste, some may be religion, some may be sex, n number of things based on. That's why the objective of your research is very, very important, and the research questions are important. Based on that only you can frame your hypothesis. It's a prediction probability. Simple random here. In simple random, so every member of the population has an equal chance. Suppose in class, that's why whenever I'm acting as a resource person at HRDCs to share a screen, I have a list of numbers. I can see their names and faces, but I never ask you do. Simply I can open invitation, anyone can share. I'm giving equal opportunity for all. If I select a particular member, then it is maybe a bias. So I don't want to give show any bias. That's why I'm giving equal opportunity chances to all the participants. Some of them are coming forward. Your sampling frame should include the whole population. So here, example, you want to select a simple random sample of 100 employees of company X. One company is there. You assign number to every employee in the company database, 1 to here 1000, and use a random number generator to select him. Here the population is 1000, but within that you're supposed to select 100 employees. So the random number generator, based on that you can select. Systematic. What is the systematic? Here the system itself, you can understand, is similar to simple random, but usually slightly easier to conduct when compared with the simple. Here every member of the population is listed with a number, but instead of randomly generating numbers, individuals are chosen at regular intervals, means gap. Suppose first one, fifth one, 4 gap, again 4 gap, is the 10th one, first, for fifth, again like that. If you are giving equal intervals, or each maybe a 9 difference or 8 difference, first one, 10th one, again 20th one, so like that you can select. So all employees of the company are listed alphabetical order. From first 10 numbers, you randomly select your starting point number 6. From number 6 onwards, every 10th person. So 6, the 10th again, you can take another 16th. So like this, it is 6, 16, 26, 36, and so on. Then here you are not just maybe you're taking some consideration, only some systematic, but even though it is a systematic sampling random, but equal opportunity we are not giving. We have taken one criteria like this. So the stratified sampling, dividing the population into here subpopulation, that may be in different ways. Suppose here called substrata, we are calling example gender or sex, age range, maybe adults, those who are voters 18 years and above, up to 18 years, income bracket, maybe a below poverty line, above poverty line, and the job role, maybe a white collar jobs, fourth class or second class here, group 1 or group A, based on this cluster. Well, here overall population of this, so it is better. I need what I can do. I can take even gender, age, income, job, all types of strata. Then only it represents the whole population. So here again, they are giving one example. The company has 800 female employees and 200 male employees. So to want to ensure that the sample reflects gender balance, what they are doing, the 10% or 8 here, 8 is to 2. So 8 female and 2 male. That's why 80 women and 20 men they selected. This is a representation. The cluster, the name itself is a cluster. Whenever suppose in any apartment you are in which cluster, even the faculty quarters also L-type clusters or P-type clusters we have. The cluster sample also dividing the population into subgroups, but each subgroup should have similar characters. Here L-type means all assistant professors. Maybe there may be a chance professors also can stay in L-type quarter, but the assistant professor cannot stay in P-type quarters. All professors can only stay in the professor quarters. In this way, they have the similar characteristics, but in other things, it is not possible to, suppose I need an age group 16 to 26 years. That means everyone is coming, not only male, female, maybe urban, rural. So but here we need a special. It is, if it is practically possible, you might include every individual for representation to get good. The multi-stage, what we can do, just now few seconds back I told you can take rural, urban, age, the sex. So if you take that one, the multi-stage, first I will select the whole population, then within the sample again I select rural and urban, within rural male and female, within male and female, general, OBC, SC, ST, and within that one minority. So this is a multi-stage. I can do like this. The company has offices 10 cities across the country. So you don't have the capacity to travel to every office to collect your data. So you use random sampling to select 3 offices. These are your clusters. So you can select randomly. That is also not by selected your based on your alphabetically or whatever the interval we can use within this in the cluster. That's why I told when it is simple random is the lowest one, this cluster is the highest one. Within this cluster you can use simple random or systematic random. So the quarter here, the quarter is going on probability. So this type of sampling techniques are very important based on when to use of or uses of probability sampling. What are the uses of probability sampling techniques? Why to use? Here reduces sample bias because you are giving equal importance for all the participants in the population and your sample. So you are not only selected this one based on seeing their face or the region or religion. So diverse population. When the population is vast and diverse, it is essential to have, it is not possible to collect each and every one. So based on the best example, I tell you, mother, whenever she is cooking, whether to test rice is boiled or not, they simply take some sample. The same, not only a mother, even any household visiting any shop, vegetable market to collect maybe a vegetables or fish or something, they see one sample. Based on sample, they can predict maybe a whole all the items are also in the same freshness or quality one, then they will order. Whenever you are visiting any maybe a sweet shop, always on the grapes, simply you take one test, after tasting only you order. So this is the best example of sampling, probability sampling. Create, you are not going only to select first one like that, you are selecting randomly, equal chances are there for you. Create an accurate sample. Probability sampling helps the researcher plan and create an accurate sample. This is actually to generalize the research findings for whole population. If you want to generalize, you can select the probability sampling techniques. If you want to develop a concept theory or here case study, suppose I want to understand a sample of one boy, how he is growth based on his food heredity. So I can ask whether in general in our culture, in our any marriages, they see this side 7 generation, that side 7 generation. Is there any elders, seniors, they have any diabetic patient in their family? Maybe it is a heredity, so they're supposed to avoid not to make any relationship, these type of things. Non-probability, actually individuals are selected based on non-probable criteria. There is no such type of condition. Not every individual has chance of being included. It is based on purpose. Suppose I want immediately to do something. What I do, I can visit some shop or some tea stall. Simply I ask whether your MLA is good. I'm not collected everywhere. It's simply where it is suitable for me. These are all for non-probability sampling techniques. Convenience, the name itself. Whenever you are studying anything, please see the etymological meaning. In philosophy, we are using this word etymological, even psychology, all social sciences, the definition. Whenever before going to understand the concept, the etymological meaning of philosophy, a love of wisdom, like this. The purposive sampling and quota sampling, snowball sample or sample. So convenience sampling, what is this convenience? The name itself is a convenience. Sample simply include the individuals who happen to be most accessible to the researcher. Suppose I want to collect data from my MA, 50 students are there. So who are cooperative, can provide, simply what I can do, who are convenient, those who are staying in hostels and near to. So suppose some students are coming lately and going early, so it is not possible to collect from them. That's why you are here researching opinions about student support services in your university. So after each of your classes, you ask few fellow students to complete a survey on the topic. This is a convenient way to gather data, but as you only surveyed students taking the same classes as you are the same level, the sample is not representative of the whole university. By taking only one department and one subject is not good. That's why we have 8 schools in Northeastern Hill University. To get it is better to within 8 schools. We have some schools, they have more than 5 departments, 8 departments also. Again, within that, it is if you are selecting nicely, then only you can get a good result. Voluntary. Suppose research ethics, actually anyone can exit at any time based on their interest only. So some people are coming. Best example, COVID, the vaccination trial testing, they given one notification, those who are interested voluntarily, they can come, so they can test. In that way they tested. Here, similar to convenience, of voluntary response is a sample is mainly based on ease of access. Instead of researcher choosing participants, here participants have more role, but here the researcher has more role in the convenience sampling technique, but voluntary sample on the participants have more freedom by responding to public online survey. Sometimes governments will do these type of things. Those who have the maybe a problem, those who have any objection, they can come, they can express their views. You send out the survey to all students at your university, and a lot of students decide to complete it. This can certainly give you some insight into topic, but the people who responded are more likely to be those who have strong opinion about the student support services. So it can't be sure that their opinions are representation of all the students. It is not possible, but that's why based on your research objective and the research questions, it is better to select whether to go for representative sampling technique, probability sampling technique, or non-probable purposive sampling. Here, this type of sampling or judgmental sampling is also known as judgmental sampling. The researcher using their expertise to select sample, it is most useful to the purpose of the research. So example, you want to know more about the opinions and the experience of disabled students at university. So you purposefully select a number of students with different support services. Suppose if you ask visually challenged students or hearing impaired students, these problems are not understandable for other normal students because they don't have any problem. If you ask how it is possible, difficult to approach, reach a college from bus stop, normal student they can walk nicely, but those who are visually, it is very difficult. They need always help from others or walk stick or something. So this is only for that purpose. You can snowball. Actually, this is the technique is a non-probability. Sometimes net exam also they are giving in this type of things. Will finish on time. If the population is hard to access, snowball sampling can be used to recruit participant. What we are doing, suppose I need to take data from a unmarried or widow, those who are life partner died, this type of ladies problem. I am not able to understand because I am new. What I can do, I can visit one unmarried person. I can ask, do you know any other unmarried here? You are researching experience of homelessness in your city. Since there is no list in the government also, they don't have any type of, sometimes they have, sometimes they don't have homeless people in the city. Probability sampling is not possible. So you meet one person who agrees to participate in the research and she puts you in contact with other homeless people. Just I'm recalling when Dr. Srutusini madam attended one program in Majbat College, while they asked the same type, ma'am shared with me the snowball sampling techniques. Uses of non-probability sampling here create a hypothesis, exploratory research, and budget and time constraints. So this one already I told. These are two things are very, very important. Researcher use here non-probability sampling is used for even the probability sampling also you can use, but what are the difference between probability non-probability here? Actually, alternatively known as random sampling method for probability, non-random sampling method for non-probability. Population is selected randomly. Here is selected arbitrarily. Nature, this is a conclusive research. This is a research exploratory research. Sample method deciding the sample, the population demographics. Here, since sampling method is arbitrary, the population demography represents the almost always skewed. So here positively skewed left. Here we have different types of normal probability curve. We have leptokurtic, platykurtic, and positively skewed, negatively skewed. Time taken takes longer in probability sampling. If you want to do immediately non-probability because it's a convenient sampling is there, purposive sampling or judgmental sampling. So this is very easy to do, but we cannot generalize. Result, this type of sampling is entirely unbiased. This type of sampling is non-probability is biased, and the results are biased too. And in the research, the hypothesis in probability sampling, there is an underlying hypothesis before the study. In non-probability sampling, hypothesis is derived after concluding the research study. So what is multi-stage sampling? Here already I told you need based on your gender, sex, again rural and urban, again within age group. So multi-stage you can take, and your population is a big, a large geographically spread group. What is sampling bias? Here sometimes sampling bias occurs when some members of population are systematically more likely to be selected in sample than others. So it is not good to do this type of, it is better always without any bias. How do you decide on what type of sampling to be or to use? Here actually any researcher, he or she may understand know better than others. Here jot down the research goals. Generally it must be combination of cost, here precision or accuracy. Effective sampling techniques might potentially achieve the research goals. That's why based on your research objectives, research questions, and what is the criteria where you are going to select, and what is your time, what is your budget, based on this you can select. Test each of these methods and examine whether they help in achieving your goal or not. Select the method that works best. That's why sometimes the expert, they say this may be, whether they never tested. Suppose I never use non-probability sampling. If someone is telling you go for some probability, non-probability, but I go in general probability because I want to generalize. Suppose someone case study is a single patient. Those who are MBBS doctors, they go for only this type of case studies. Why or some of students, even though they are eating, they are not healthy, they can do some study why it is happening. So in detailed, in-depth study we need. So here, that's why the objective is very important. After thinking all these things, only your duty to someone is selecting, maybe a say, so you go for sampling probability only. No, this is not like that based on someone experience. It is based on your convenience, because you suppose you are sitting in a driver's seat, it is your duty. Suppose if you are a learner, you can take help from experienced one, but already you have learned, better you know where. Suppose I know which route and where is the speed breaker, but those who are coming to Tirupati first time, they are not aware the speed breaker is on this place, because the road color and the speed breaker is the same. It is very difficult until unless if you approach near. So there are n number of ways are there and things are there in to keep in your mind before going to select a sampling techniques, sampling methods. This is the best approach. Now over to Professor Chennaiya sir. We don't want to take your valuable time. So over to Chennai sir. Chennai sir.
Amresh sir.
Sir.
So congratulations for your nice presentation relating with research and sampling and everything. Very good. So
Sir, this with your permission, because this is the 50th program, if any participants want to share their feeling, their experiences, we can take another 6 minutes. We will close exactly at 7:10 with your permission only. If they have anything to share. anyone, any participants, if you have any query or anything to share, please, over to you, Dr. Sushila Madam. Being a doctor, you are also using this type of sampling techniques in your, so what type of injection is good, what type of tablets are effective?
Sir. Yes,
Sir, sir.
Amresh, sir.
Sir.
Amresh, sir.
I'm listening, sir.
So actually,
Sir.
In this connection, so response or activeness depend upon various aspects. So in this connection, we appreciate the participants, the listeners' interest and the motivation. At the same time, you remember now this is the 50th program relating with the research. Here, I am appreciating your willpower because every journey starts with a single step. 1,000 miles journey starts with a single step. Every great achievement arises from a single idea. So success comes from hard work. In this connection, so I am appreciating your willpower, your effort, and you have prepared more than 200 flyers, and you have prepared PowerPoint presentation. It is a good step, and I am congratulating you in this connection, Amresh sir. So
thank you, sir.
In
Thank
this
you very
last more than 200 programs, and we have traveled throughout the world, all continents, great people. We have shown the very beautiful seeds relating with the human knowledge. This is a memorable thing. So sometimes a small flower which has a fragrance, that is also a very beautiful one. So we have organized this international webinars with our own manner. In this connection, once again, I am appreciating you and all the participants. So we content with the small things. The great philosopher, Aristotle and the Pythagoras and the Socrates and the great people are telling, if you content with a few things, you may become very rich man. So a person who has a contentment is a rich man. A person who have more things but has no contentment is a poor man. That's why, so we have done something, and this is a 50th program relating with research. In this connection, we feel happy to appreciate all people, especially congratulations one again to you, Amresh sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your kind words. So, anyone? Okay, sir. With your permission, may I go for a vote of thanks, sir?
Okay. Okay, Amresh sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your continuous and constant support. I think no teacher in India maybe delivered this number of keynote address and supported his own students. So you being a teacher, you supported your own student and Dr. Srutasani Madam. Really, we are
All
really
the best.
grateful to you from bottom of our hearts, sir.
All the best, Amresh sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Without your support, it is impossible. And always, even tomorrow, we are going to organize a program on Vemana, Yogi Vemana. Yogi Vemana also told your guru is there is no person in this world better than your own teacher. So in that way, really, we are grateful to you, sir. On this special occasion, we successfully completed a half journey. So the same type of cooperation and support, concern, care, love we'll get. Thank you, sir. And we are really grateful to Professor Raja Reddy, sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sri Venkateswara University, Nagarajasri Madam, and Vijay Bhaskar sir for uploading our flyers continuously at Sri Venkateswara University website. Professor Prabhasankar Sukla sir, our Honorable Vice Chancellor, always motivating, encouraging. Yesterday also, I interacted with Professor Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, even though out of station, but really I'm grateful to our own lovable Vice Chancellor, dynamic Vice Chancellor. Without his support, it is impossible. And Professor Mithali Kaur ma'am, Professor Rajendra Prasad Bhattapur sir, Dr. Srutosini Gogoi madam from Moran College, with their continuous support. Ma'am is also joined. Ma'am is very busy, even though she is constantly approaching and giving suggestions and cooperating with us. We are really grateful to Moran College. Working alone is different, but in the 21st century, working in a group is a good quality. So many companies, they are testing the candidates working knowledge or skill in a group. That's why collaborative work is very important. And Professor Mipun sir, ISTD chairman, Shillong chapter, Professor Dikshit sir immediately informed me you can organize under IQAC. Thank you very much. And Professor, all the professors, Venkatrao sir, Sushila madam, and Venkat Subramanian and Srinivasal Reddy or n number of with the name given associate professors and researchers, teachers, students, scholars, policy makers, everyone for your continuous support, being a participant, being a panelist, being a resource person. We are really grateful to you and all the participants, one and all, thank you very much. Now, national anthem, immediately I can share the feedback form to get your certificate.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Jai Hind, thank you. See you tomorrow at 5 p.m. Now, please submit your feedback form. Those who submit, after submitting, please check your mail. YouTube viewers, please submit your feedback form. YouTube viewers, please submit your feedback form and check your mail.